Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Happy.
Good. Me too. I'm just pulling over here. I came to understand, or the understanding came that uh, the mind or the voice doesn't really communicate. It narrates, and it basically is narrating after the fact.
Yeah.
So even though it's the narration is happening now, what happened is already past. So it's never the voice that you hear in your mind is already speaking in the past or projecting into the future. So that narration is just a story that's added to what's happening.
Yeah.
Because for me, what's happening, it's really silent. It doesn't speak. The ego speaks first, as they say in A Course in Miracles.
Yeah.
The ego, the me story speaks first, because awareness doesn't necessarily, it's silent. So all that narration, all that talking, it's just stories and labels that we're putting on everything. It's not really communicating. The mind communicates to the body, but it doesn't communicate. It can't communicate about what is. It narrates. And even the communication to the body is after the fact too, even though it's happening now in the immediacy. But yeah, I always like that the ego speaks first, because what you are is silent. It doesn't need to communicate. But there's the difference too. I mean, you need the functional, the practical communication, so you don't walk in front of a bus and you don't eat a pile of poop instead of, your spaghetti, or, so you need that to be able to differentiate. So that's functional. And I know the Aborigines say, you guys, you're all up here. You talk too much. He said that we function more in here intuitively, because it's a natural response to what's happening. There's really no thought to it. It's a reaction, a response to your environment. But the narration is just that unnecessary blah, blah, blah storytelling that just goes on and on. And to me, that's the cause of the suffering. And that's what they call the me, that the me story. It's added to everything else. So that's my take on that.
Yeah, beautiful.
Don't you have that saying, there's nothing good or bad, only thinking makes it so? Isn't that one of your phrases?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's a good one. And that thinking, to me, is the narration. It's the unnecessary chatter that just, and if your attention is there all the time, then that you start to think that's who you are. You think you're your thinking mind. You think you're the thinker, and that's who you are, as you so well said earlier. But it's not that. And you don't have to, fight it or let it go, or you just start to lose interest in it, because it's not true. It's just added software. It's just added jibber jab. You just start losing interest in it. It's like, heard that 1,000. You start noticing it's repetitive, it's boring, it's causing you chaos. I mean, why would you want to sign up for that? Why would you want to keep going back to that if you could just notice that it's really not your friend? So why would you want to support it or believe in it? But even that, that part is something that happens as well. The losing interest happens naturally. The noticing happens. And but when that looking arrives, when that desire to start looking at what's happening, that's really beautiful when that grace starts appearing for you.